What Carl Jung saw that others missed. The invisible story that shapes human behavior. The question that changed everything. A man sat across from Carl Jung. For nearly an hour, he talked about his manager, his colleagues, his former business partner, his brother, his father. Different people, different disappointments, different moments in life, yet every story ended the same way. They never respected me. They never listened. They treated me unfairly, again and again and again. When the man finally stopped speaking, Jung asked a simple question. A question that would change the direction of the conversation. Do all these people know each other? The man looked confused. No. Jung nodded. Then he asked, if they don't know each other, why does the same story keep appearing? Silence. For the first time that day, the man had no answer. The pattern. Most people would have continued discussing the people. Jung became interested in something else. The pattern. Not what happened, what kept returning. The same frustration, the same anger, the same disappointment, the same interpretation, again and again and again. Jung had noticed this before. Different faces, different countries, different lives, yet somehow the same invisible pattern. And he knew something. When a pattern repeats often enough, it is rarely an accident. It is a clue. The investigation. So Jung continued asking questions. Not about the manager, not about the colleagues, not about the brother, but about the pattern itself. How long have you felt this way? The man paused. Since I was young. Jung leaned forward. Tell me about the first time. A long silence followed. Then a memory emerged. A classroom, a teacher, an idea dismissed in front of everyone, laughter, silence, and a feeling he never forgot. Suddenly, the pattern began to make sense. The story that spoke first. The problem had never been the manager, or the colleague, or the brother, or the father. Those people were different, but the story was always the same. For years, every disagreement had been filtered through a single belief. They don't respect me. Every new situation was being interpreted through an old story, a story carried for decades, a story so familiar it no longer felt like a story. It felt like reality. And perhaps that was the most important discovery. For years, the story had been speaking first, before the manager, before the colleague, before the facts. The story had already decided what everything meant. What Jung discovered. That day reinforced something Jung had been slowly learning. People do not see reality directly. They see it through the stories they carry. Two people can experience the same event and walk away with completely different conclusions. The facts may be identical, the meaning is not. And when meaning changes, everything changes. Emotions, decisions, relationships, behavior. What people never say. Jung spent his life listening, not only to words, but to what existed beneath the words. Because people often reveal far more than they realize. Not through explanations, but through repetitions. The same concern, the same fear, the same interpretation. Repeated often enough, they become clues. And clues lead somewhere. To a belief, to a memory, to a story. The invisible story. Years later, Jung would become one of the most influential thinkers of the 20th century. Yet one of his deepest insights remained remarkably simple. What people reveal is often less important than what keeps repeating. Because repetition leaves clues. Clues reveal beliefs. Beliefs reveal stories. And stories shape the way people see the world. If you learn to reconstruct those stories, you begin to understand people differently. Not because you know them better than they know themselves, but because you have learned to read what they never say. Most people listen to what is said. The wisest pay attention to what keeps returning, because repetition leaves traces, and traces reveal stories. the stories people rarely tell, yet live every day. Some stories entertain, others teach us how to see. If you enjoy stories that reveal what lies beneath human behavior, stay with us. The journey is only beginning. Most people listen to words. Carl Jung learned to read patterns, and those patterns revealed stories. Stories people rarely tell, yet live every day. If this story made you see people differently, stay with us, because there are many more hidden patterns waiting to be discovered.